It's Facebook Live time. If you don't know me, my name is Melissa Kerman of Melissa's Crafting Treehouse. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I've been a demonstrator for over 16 years, and I love lots of things crafty, but fell in love with paper crafting over 16 years ago, and here I am. So I come on live on Facebook every Thursday at 7 p.m. So welcome if you're new or if you're a returning person. So glad to have you here, and just leave a comment when you arrive. Hi there, Sally. So for today, I have some fun planned. I have some quick announcements and with the latest updates, and then I have 4 different projects I'm going to show you. Actually, 3 of them are 3D items. Now, last week I said that I was going to be sharing some things that I presented at my pre-on-stage event back in November, and I got to thinking about it, and I realized I had some Christmas-related projects that would be more timely and maybe more helpful for those of you watching if you're preparing some last-minute little treats to give away to neighbors or friends. So the projects I'm going to share are really cute and simple and really quick to put together, and I made a bunch of them for my holiday party that I had this past weekend here at my home. You may have seen me post photos of that event. We did a whole bunch of fun things. Chimes, we played music together with the chimes, and the saran wrap ball game, if any of you guys are familiar with that. Anyway, there were some funny pictures online of me pretending that the saran wrap ball was a baby under my shirt. Anyway, I was being very silly, but we had lots of fun. So anyway, quick announcements for projects. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I've got some sneak peeks and fun things to show you, some of the new things I've gotten from the mini catalog that's coming in, and from a celebration that's happening starting in January as well. So I see people joining. Welcome, Melissa. Welcome, Barbara. I know there were other names flashing by, but I don't remember what they are off the top of my head. But I will comment later and say hello when I can take more time to look at the comments. So announcements today. So last week I showed you guys all 6 of the 7 product shares that I had assembled and put together in last week's video. So I got my products and my catalogs in the mail earlier this week. So I put together the last one. This is the birthday Bonanza product suite. It has 4 products in there. This is kind of, these are cello bags that are decorated and super pretty. So this is the birthday suite. There's materials listed on the back for each of the product shares, and I do them with the launch of every new catalog. So if you're not familiar with my product shares, I want to just give you the 2-cent tour. Essentially, I call them my Taste of a Sweet shares, and that's because I take a little bit of several consumables that are in a given suite, and I bundle them together and divide up the packets so that you can basically get more to play with. I love the product shares. I usually end up with one share myself, so it allows me to play with it, and if I fall in love with it, I can buy more, and if I don't, I don't. But they're great for for me, for customers, for other demonstrators. If that's something you're interested in, definitely check it out. I think they're pretty awesome, and it makes it so much easier to design when you have things that coordinate with one another. So anyway, there are 7 shares for the mini catalog that's coming up. They range in price from $10 to $19, plus a flat rate shipping fee, depending on how many shares you get. There is an early bird special that ends as of Monday the 16th, and if you qualify for the early bird special, and that means you reserve your shares by the 16th, and then you pay for them by the 30th. I won't be sending invoices till the 29th per Stampin' Up! Rules. Then you would get the early bird bonus, and all the details are on my webpage. So if you're interested in those, definitely go to my website, and the tab that says product shares, there's a menu option just for the shares that are happening now. So and one of the early bird special thing is I'm giving away free card kits. The more you order, the more you get. And then I'm also doing a referral bonus that's also included on that webpage, where you could get a free technique class. So definitely go check those out, and I always appreciate referrals. And I guess speaking of referrals, if you are so inclined, while I am showing the demonstration, while I'm doing the demonstration today, or at any point during today, Please share this Facebook Live with anybody and everybody you think might be interested. You don't need to say share. In fact, you're supposedly, according to Facebook, the algorithm, you're not supposed to say I shared. I will see that you shared, and I do appreciate it. So feel free to share the Facebook Live as I'm talking. So let's see, or after on the replay, of course. And then I guess last but not least, as far as the product shares are concerned, when you buy 7 or more shares, so one of each, or you can get multiples of one, as long as it adds up to 7 or more, you get to pick a celebration item as well. Now, the only thing that you can't pick is the designer paper options that are celebration, because they don't fit in the flat rate packaging that I mail everything out in. So those are the only things you can't pick. So speaking of, let me know if you have questions about the product shares. But speaking of, I got the new celebration paper. We weren't able to get, there are 2 celebration papers this year. And one of them is sort of Monet looking images. I'm not sure if I showed them to you or not. But the one I'm really in love with is this second one that I'm about to show you. And it's all kind of about bees and honeycombs, and I don't know if it's a specialty paper, so it's got like metallics in there. Check out those papers. Oh my gosh, they are so pretty. And I love that they're relatively neutral patterns. So the back side is also pretty neutral patterns. You don't have the metallics on the back side, but of course the beautiful metallics on the front. Check that out. Has anybody gotten their hands on this? It's so pretty. I love it. Haven't cut it up because I haven't started playing with it yet, but I've just had it for a few days. So I'm super excited to show that. The other quick thing I wanted to show you is that you may be aware that during Celebration, Stampin' Up! Always does a joining promotion. So buying the starter kit, becoming a discount purchaser, whatever you want to call it. You can join as a hobbyist, or you can become a business builder, or anything in between. But when you join, starting the celebration, which is January 3rd, people will get this special little gift. Okay, so I got it because as a demonstrator, I can pre-order it, and you can too if you're a demonstrator. So what's going to come, what you're going to get is this variety pack of designer papers. Now this is really cool. This is actually the second celebration paper. There are 12 different sheets here, and you're going to get 4 of each one. And so these first 2 are actually the celebration papers. So, and of course they're 2-sided. So they're really, really pretty, especially like those sides. So that's the celebration. So you get 4 each of those. This is the Tropical Oasis suite. So you get 2 patterns of those, and of course both sides. And this is what you're getting free as a variety pack. So this is the Poppy Parade. So you're getting 2 of those patterns and the backs. So this is definitely pretty awesome. This is the Country Club suite. So you're getting 2 each of these, all these different designer papers. So as a new person joining, and whether you're going to sell it or not, it just gives you a great medley of designer papers. And this is the best dressed, so 2 of the patterns, or 4 if you want to count the back size, in the best dressed designer paper. And I think last week I may have mentioned I'm not like a high heels and purse sort of gal, but this is just the cutest. Is that not the cutest? I mean, I even love that. Is that crazy or what? And then of course the florals are just stunning in this designer paper. So anyway, so much fun. So when you buy the starter kit, you get that variety pack of 48 sheets. And then you also get, wait for it, this tiny, adorable little cutter. And I'm going to actually use it once during today, so you'll get to check it out. But this is the cutter. It's so adorable. It's a guillotine cutter, very precise. Today when I was cutting, I actually cut off like, oh my gosh, it was probably like a 32nd of an inch. So it's a very sharp blade. And it's small, but it is 6 inches long, so I will be cutting something that's 6 inches. And so anyway, I'll show you that later, but it's super, super cute. And then in addition to that, when you join, you get to pick any stamp set you want from the catalog. So those 3 things, the designer paper, the little mini cutter, and any stamp set of your choice. So those are the big announcements of today, the things that are going on right now. So let's see. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you the projects I have. Now, when I do 3D type projects, I mean, I love to build things from the ground up, but Stampin' Up! Has some awesome gift packaging in the catalog. So I'm going to just quickly jump to that page. So there's all kinds of great gift packaging. So now, I don't know if you guys have noticed that one. This one is like a little tiny mini Stampin' Up! Box. I'm going to be making something with that today. And it basically just gives you this huge jump start to making a really quick project. I love the pizza boxes. And I'm also going to give you an idea for something you can do with this pillow box as well, although I don't have the pillow boxes myself. Let's see, what else am I using? Oh, and then you probably can't see very well, but this one is the little, they're like 3x3 clear boxes. So it's just, anyway, those are the things I'm going to focus on today as far as the gift packaging. So it's kind of a go-to for me because it just makes designing gifts so much easier, right? So now I'm also going to show you something I made with this. It's not current in the catalog, although I love them and I wish they would come back. They're called the Petite Cafe gift bags. But anyway, I'm going to show you the ideas. Okay, so moving right along. So let's start with turning the camera down so I can actually show you the projects. Get us facing the right way. Okay. Excuse me. All right, so what I'm going to start with is my scoring board. So now for one of my projects, like I said, I used one of these plastic little boxes. Now the gifts I'm going to show you are things that I made for the participants who came to my Christmas party this past weekend. This pack of these little tiny treat boxes, let's see, you get 16 in a pack, and they each have this little plasticized piece on it, which basically just keeps it clean and scratch free. So it's super easy to put together. And of course I did a whole bunch of these, so just want to show you the quick assembly of that. I like to fold along all the fold lines so that it's firstly the box, fold each side in, and then that right there. And then the bottom, there is a certain order that you're supposed to do it in. So first I'm going to just fold all my edges in. It's probably squeaky. Can you hear it squeaky? Okay, so then I'm going to put in this, this side first, and then I'm going to do these two, on and then this last flap. And there you go. Comes together super, super easy. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a little sort of cover for this to make it look really cute. So I have a piece right here, and I have already done my scoring, but I'm showing you the scoring. I will put this on my website as well. And let's see. So I've indicated the scoring here. So it's 2 by 10 7/8, and then it's scored, and you can see here, like I said, I'll put it on my website, 1 1/8, 2 1/4, 4 3/8, 6 1/2, 8 5/8, and 9 3/4. This was actually pretty easy to figure out. And then I've used a punch right here on the end. I did show this last week. Somebody told me what the name of it was. It was like Delightful Scallop or something like that. And in essence, I'm taking my little plastic box, putting a little treat in there. I'm going to show you in a second. And then this has adhesive on the bottom underneath it. And then I'm just going to attach my little box here, and I'm creating a little cover for it. Okay, so I've done a lot of the work of this already. I've got some snowflakes that are stamped and punched out, and for this I've used the 2 Every Season stamp set, which has things for several seasons, which is pretty fun. And then I've used the designer paper that's the Let It Snow paper. Now I've cut individual panels and attached them, but it might be a little bit easier if you actually did one long panel. Then you just have to be a little bit more careful with the folding, because when you fold, it'll sort of pull on the paper in a certain way, so you have to fold it up, attach it as you fold it up if you use a long strip. So I'm just going to show you the end project, the finished project here. And I've done several of these. So I made homemade peppermint patties. My husband doesn't even like peppermint patties, and he told me he liked them, which is great. And I gave them each to my the people who came to the party. So this is the finished project. So now I've taken my, let's see, just to finish showing you how I assembled this. When you punch with that punch, it punches your hole and, of course, the decorative scallop edge. And I just folded that over so I could get it through the hole. And then I just tied it up in the center, in this case with this lovely reddish yarn. I think it's called curly ribbon or something like that. I can't remember what it's called in the catalog. And then I made a little label right here. And this is done with the Itty Bitty Christmas set. And then I just trimmed off the ends. It's not done with a punch, just with my little paper snips. Looped a piece of twine through. Now this is retired twine, but it went really well with the project, so I just went for it. So if you imagine this is actually done, I'm just going to loop this through. And then I like to take the what I've done for the tag and just go through the opening. And then I just let it drape down. You can cinch it up to be as short or as long as you want, so you can have it be like that. And then I stamped on both sides, so in case it flipped over, there'd be no problem with seeing the sentiment. So again, I'll have the dimensions for that on my website, and these are really good too. You know, if you love peppermint patties, it's definitely something to check out. And here's a couple of other versions, so with the different patterns in that designer paper pack. Just so much fun. And these were really pretty quick and easy to put together. Snowflakes, I did actually put some of them on dimensionals, so they'd be popped up. You guys probably know I love my dimensionals. Okay, so next, moving right along. So next I've got these little cute Stampin' Up! Boxes. Now these actually, this is how they come together. It's just super easy. Now you would think that this would be turned upside down, so that kind of threw me off when I first got these, but essentially it's just, you know, I don't know, it seems sort of upside down, but then when you get a UPS box, right, it looks more like this, so that's why I guess they decided that they should design it like this. So anyway, what we're going to do is I'm going to just create a bit of a belly band, and I love doing belly bands because then you can just slip it off. You don't have to worry about ripping it open. It just slips right off. So here is, I've got 2 pieces of Mossy Meadow cardstock. This one measures 2.5 by 11, and I'm going to go ahead and just score it. Lost my scoring tool, is somewhere over here. Oh, darn. Here, let's get creative. Can't find my scoring tool, so I'm going to go ahead and use my bone folder. So use whatever you got, right? So I'm going to do 3/4 of an inch on this end, and then 3.5, and then I'm turning it over, 3/4, and 3.5, just like that. And then I'm going to take my box. And it's as simple as this, right? So I got that. And then I'm going to just put a little bit of adhesive on either side of this piece right here. This measures 2 3/4 by 4, the bottom. And the most important trick with this when you're doing it is you just want to make sure that it's not too tight. Whenever you do a belly band, if it's too tight, it's just going to be really hard to slip off. And you don't want it to be too loose either. So generally what I do, so I'm just going to attach one side. I don't need to do it on the box. And I'm just not overlapping that crease. I'm not coming too close to it. And then I'm actually going to do this flat. But instead of pushing it flat just like that, I'm going to pull it out a little bit so that it's not too tight. So you see it might be slightly pushed up, whatever the right way to say that is. And then, of course, there's my bottom, which is the one with the 4-inch panel. And then it's just going to slide right on. And then you just got to tuck those little UPS box. There we go. So there's my assembly. That's how it comes together. And then just here is a finished one. So I've taken some of this Christmas paper, which last week I was I used this as well. It's called the Night Before Christmas paper. And I'm telling you, when I was creating this project, and then the other one I'm going to show you, I totally fell in love with this paper. Like, I kind of was poo-pooing it. Like, I was not really into it. But is that just the cutest thing? I mean, so anyway, I just created a sentiment there. And this is done with the Snowman Season Set, that Merry Christmas, which I love. And then I punched out the banner ends with my triple banner punch, but you could do it with the scissors as well. And then I just tied the ribbon around. Now, you will need it on your box when you tie it around, and that's probably the trickiest thing about it. But the best part is, once this is tied, you don't have to untie it. You get to leave it looking pretty. And you can even reuse the box again and again. Now, I had Chex Mix in it. As you can see, I've eaten a good fraction of it. But Chex Mix was the gift that I put inside this adorable little box. And you can see, so here's another version that I did. And I did it with several of the patterns in this paper pack, but they just came out so cute, and they were really easy to make. So again, I'll have the dimensions for this on my website, those scoring details for the belly band, etc. Now, check out these papers. I mean, these are the ones I actually didn't use on the boxes. I decided I needed some other ones, so I actually made some additional. I ran out of my Stampin' Up! Boxes, so I used some of these, I forget what they were called, but they're not available anyway, and just did a simple panel on the front with a backing behind it, some ribbon tied around that piece, and then I filled those with Chex Mix as well. Just tied that ribbon, did a sentiment. That sentiment is from the Perfectly Plaid set, which we talked about last week, so super easy. Now, this is where I wanted to show you my little cutter. And I put the cutter. It's somewhere nearby. This is what happens. Oh my gosh, it's so little I can't find it. Oh, no, here it is. Too funny. Okay, so for this, let's see. I'm looking for the piece. So this is a backing piece that I would use for right on here. And for my cutting, I just want to show you guys this in action because it's just the cutest little thing. It's 2 3/4. So now where the numbers are on this cutter, shouldn't do that. There's a 2 right there, a 3 right there. It's the line to the left of it. You can see it's sort of closer to that line than it is to the one on the right. So that's how I can tell. And each of those lines is a 1/4 inch. So that's my 3-inch mark. So I'm doing 2 3/4, and you can see this is 6 inches long, so it fits in there just perfectly. Now, of course, when I do the other dimension, I'm going to need a different cutter because it has to be 5 3/4. I should have cut that down ahead of time. But anyway, then once I cut it down, it'll just fit perfectly on here. So anyway, so you get the idea. Just super simple. And I was thinking that this paper would look great on those pillow boxes as well. So anyway, I'm having so much fun with this paper. I can't even believe it. It's all in time for it to go away, which is crazy, right? But better late than never. Anyway, so those were just super fun gifts. And other people, people made gifts as well for each other at the event. It was just, we had such a ball. Okay, so I have one other project for you. And this one uses the Stamparatus. I'm going to grab my things for that. Now we're also using the Beauty and Joy set. Now this one is retiring. It's on the retiring list, so gonna have to say goodbye to that soon. One of the projects I did not too long ago, I'm sure I showed this one to you guys, is this one right here, which is kind of your sort of traditional use for this stamp set. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna show you a little bit of a less traditional way to use this set. So I've got my stamp set up, but I'm going to show you how I did what I'm about to do. Let's see, I'm going to put that over there. So now I'm going to make a wreath with these images. So I've got this little grid set up, and this is a 5x5. This was sort of the template that I used, and it's easiest to draw the squares if you have a template. So 5x5, and then you do one that's straight on. So one on the diamond, one that's straight on. Now, you can use whichever size you want. So each of these different sizes is going to give you a different size wreath. Has anybody done this before? Or is this brand new to anybody? Oh, you didn't like that paper either, Kathy. Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's really grown on me. Okay, so let me grab my paper. I'm just going to show you the magic of this. So this piece is actually 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. And before I actually put it in there, I want to just point out, so how you determine where to put this, if you figure this is my piece, right? It's slightly smaller than the 4-inch square. And when I am doing my image, it needs to be inside that edge. So that's the edge that you need to be considered. Now you can put it straight on, or you can put it at an angle. You probably have a better idea of what I'm talking about once I actually do the stamping. So I'm just going to position it and pick it up. And then I'm going to take my paper. I like to start on in the diamond position, but that's partly just because of how I have the image lined up. Okay, here we go. Now I need my ink. Ah, there it is. Okay, so I'm using shaded spruce. This is like my new favorite green. It's such a pretty green. And I'm going to ink this up. Stamp it. And then I'm going to turn it, quarter turn, using my magnet to hold it in place. Now I could ink this up again, but I like to have some sort of lights and darks in my images. So I'm doing alternating full ink and second ink. So now another quarter turn, so now it's on the diamond. And again, this is slightly smaller than my 4x4 grid line, or line that I've created in there. So I'm doing it just inside the line. And then I'm going to do it again. So now it's on the square. So you guys get where I'm going with this. Has anybody done this? Anyway, okay, so let's see. Turn it again, quarter turn. We actually made the project I'm showing you at the holiday party this past weekend. And we just do one project just because most of the time we're eating and playing games and socializing. But it's always nice to have a little stamping in the mix, being that we're all lovers of stamping. So I keep making my way around. Now this doesn't just have to be for Christmas either, right? It could be a wreath that you do for any occasion, any time of year. It could be fall, it could be spring. You use a lighter, paler green. And where you put the stamp on your Stamparatus is, of course, going to determine how big your wreath is and how much there is in the middle that's plain, that's blank or whatever. Okay, so let me just show you a couple of other things that I've done. So I figure, let's see, so this piece has dimensionals on it. This is going to go on here. And then I put a bunch of rhinestones. So here's my finished card. You can see I have stamped some of the little itty-bitty red images that are, see that little image right there in the Beauty and Joy set. So I've stamped those here and about sort of all over, first and second inking, I think. Maybe actually it's just all first inking. Yeah, first inking. And then I used some of my red rhinestones kind of all over the place. We used a lot of rhinestones to make all these cards. And then I just did a bit of an air bow right there. And then I have my red up on dimensionals. So super easy. Now, once again, I have these templates for the 4 and the 5, but I drew some other lines in here because I figured why not do smaller wreaths as well. If you're using a smaller image, you would get a smaller wreath. So I used this image in here to make this smaller wreath, and this piece is just 3 inches by 3 inches. And then of course you could do it bigger as well. So it's just a matter of getting the lining up, and once you draw your squares, you want to have one on the diamond and one that's square, all centered in the middle, and you can do really any size wreath you want. So isn't that cute? So this is a 5 by 5 card. A little bit hard to find an envelope for that. So if you wanted to size it down and do something smaller, then you can actually fit it onto a more traditional size card. So anyway, that's my lovely card. So now somebody asked me just recently, let's see if I can find my ribbon. I had my ribbon in here somewhere. I feel like oh, here we go. How do you tie bows quickly? I know lots of people struggle with bows. I think because I've practiced so much, I do so many of them, and then people struggle with them and they ask me to make theirs for them. So I get a lot of practice making bows. So for whatever it's worth, I thought I might just go through this just for a sec. So this is kind of a small piece, but I'm going to retie this this bow. So I do the dog ear thing, right? This is kind of small, so it's a little bit easier if your ribbon is longer, especially if you sort of struggle with making bows. So the two dog ears, and then I just cross one over the other, fold it under, and then this is actually the trickiest part, especially if the ribbon is small, the piece is small, is not letting the tails fall out while you get your ears, your bow ears, looking the way you want it. So then I'm just playing. And then I always like to bring in my little pencil trick. If you haven't seen this one, I've shown it several times, but I don't know if this is quick or if it's showing the trick to doing it quick or not, but just thought since somebody had asked, I would go through the whole making a bow thing. So now I'm just tightening that up, but with the pencils on there, it gives me a lot more control over the tails. I'm not flattening them down as I pull it tight, and then I can make the size of the ears however I want them. And I can also train the tails, like by holding on and pulling them down. And then there's my little bow, and then of course I would trim off the ends. So I hope that was helpful. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Okay, so what's next? Okay, so I do have some things to show you, a little bit of a surprise. I meant to mention it at the beginning and I forgot, but I have a few things I wanted to show you that I've just been playing with. They're not finished cards, but I've been playing with some of the new things in the mini catalog, starting with this embossing folder, Parisian Flourish. Now I have finished some projects, but I'm going to wait to show you those till another time when I can really do them justice. But I absolutely adore this embossing folder. It goes with the Parisian Blossoms suite. Here's the actual folder itself. So done several things with this. So just to give you an idea of how gorgeous this is. So this is done with the copper foil. I've been playing with copper foil quite a bit, and one of the things I was trying to do is come up with a like a verdigris kind of look. So I did this one with heat embossing, and I tried it on both sides to see which side worked best. So I used Versamark on the actual embossing folder so that it would on both sides, so that in this side it went into the recesses, and on this side it was in the flat portion. Now I did this on soft seafoam cardstock, and then I sponged over it with, pretty sure it was Pool Party and Mint Macaron. I think those were the two colors that I used in addition to the soft sea foam. So just having a lot of fun playing with that. And then this one I did with ink and gel medium, one of my favorite things to play with, and then also some glitter. So that's kind of a crazy fun little thing that will hopefully eventually turn into a card if I can get myself around to it. Okay, the next thing, the celebration thing I've been playing with is this combination. This is a level 2 item, the Power of Hope, and it uses, it comes with this embossing folder. Now, I was not absolutely crazy about Power of Hope, but I was loving this embossing folder. It's like, if you can tell, it's got tons of texture to it. So that's what the picture of it is. But I bit the bullet and I got the level 2 item because I figured, well, I'm just going to play with this because it's just so gorgeous. And I'll figure something out, which I have. I'm so excited. Eventually I'll show you. So this is that embossing folder, dry embossed on a couple different colors, soft suede and what is that, gray granite, I think. So just playing around with that look a little bit. And then I also brought in this set, which is one of my new favorites in the new mini catalog that's coming out in the beginning of January. Just love these images in here. I'm not sure I love how this came out, but it was just kind of fun to play with. So I actually stamped the fern image on my piece of gray granite, and then I put Versamark on the embossing folder so that it would be in the recesses and embossed it in silver. Anyway, it's just kind of interesting. Don't know that I love it, but it was just so fun to play that I just had to show you. Too much fun. So lots more coming to show you guys in that catalog. Okay, so I think I'm going to turn the camera to face me. I have buried my notes of what to remember to say. There they are. So when I'm talking to you guys and I'm showing you stuff, I just sort of throw it off to the side. Let's see. The blossoms. The blossoms will go great with the Hope set. Oh, yeah. Okay. So turn me around here. All right. Hi again. I'm back. All right. So just to, I guess, recap whatever, you guys check out my product shares. I'll have a link in the description for the Facebook Live as well as on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. And remember, the early bird special ends as of Monday. So don't delay. If it's something you want to do, you're just reserving them. You're not actually paying for them till the end of the month. And there's the referral bonus as well. And you can get a free celebration item. Yay. And let's see what else. If you're interested in joining, obviously you can wait until after celebration and get all those great perks, the little mini cutter and the designer paper and your free stamp set. And let's see what else. Okay, so yeah, so I'll be back next Thursday. That is December 19th. I actually looked it up this time. Same time, same channel, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I am thinking that I will probably do what I had intended to do today, which was show you those projects I demonstrated at the pre-on-stage event, but we'll see. Who knows? Something might change between now and then. But I'm excited to share those as well. I just thought it would be more practical to show you the Christmas stuff today. So anyway, thank you so much for spending some time with me tonight or watching on the replay. I hope you enjoyed the projects, and we'll go create and play. And remember, I will have the posts live tomorrow with dimensions and supplies and all the scoring details and all that, pictures of the projects. So you can go and be an elf yourself and make some Christmas fun for your neighbors or friends or party people. Anyway, so thanks so much for spending some time with me today, and have a fabulous evening. Bye, everybody.